Okay, hopefully you guys can like see me. Welcome to moving vlog number 2. We have actually been in our new home for a little over a week now, and I did not film really anything except for the very last part of moving vlog number 1. So if you haven't watched that, I'll link that down below. And I was showing you guys like these like little surprise bags I made for my kids for like the drive here. We drove 7 hours one day, 10 hours the next day, 3 hours the next day. So just had to keep them pretty occupied. But anyways, that was the last time I filmed because I packed my camera and stuff, because right after that I was traveling for work and I was not going to bring my camera with me. I already had enough stuff, and then I flew home on a Thursday. I was supposed to get in like Thursday earlier afternoon, but my flight got delayed, so I didn't get home till Thursday night, and the movers showed up Friday, and it was just like a whirlwind from that point. We were not filming. By the way, I'm making a matcha while we're chatting because that's what's happening. I don't even know how much of this stuff you're supposed to use. I normally don't add like sweetener, but I'm so off track right now and something sweet sounds good. So I'm just adding some vanilla to my matcha. I also like don't really know where anything is. So anyways, we've been here for a little over a week and we're pretty much unpacked in like the main areas of the house. The only things that are unpacked or like put together is my office. Like my work computers are unpacked, but like the rest of my office isn't put together. Our guest room, so we have a 6-bedroom house that we're living in. The guest room isn't done yet, which is fine. And then the homeschool space, which is kind of in like a loft upstairs, that's not done yet. But everything else is unpacked and pretty much done. We are still waiting on like a couple pieces of furniture that we had to order. Whenever you move into a new house, it's just, you have to buy like different things that like fit in the rooms. We have a lot more rooms here than we were used to, and like the rooms that my daughters are in don't have closets, so we had to get them like clothing racks and like organizers. So just like a bunch of that little stuff. The bathrooms are really small, so we needed to buy like a bunch of like over the toilet things. So we're still waiting on all that stuff. Okay, I don't even remember what I was saying, but because I should have made the matcha first. So let me just shake this up so I can. Would probably work better if I poured it in hot water and I had my frother, which I don't have. So we're doing it. But I bought this at a farmer's market, and then I'm just using Fairlife milk and then a little bit of vanilla syrup just to have it a little sweet. So I don't even know what I was saying, but I haven't filmed because 1, I can't find my tripod for my camera, and 2, it's been nonstop because we, like I said, got everything unpacked that first week, and then I needed to go back to work, not back to work, but be working. And so I took like only like 2 days off, and so I just felt like I was traveling the whole week before moving. Then we moved and I just like needed to get into a good flow. But then at the same time, we have family here, and so we definitely took some breaks to enjoy family time, which like made it all worth it. So we are in Washington State. I did ask on my Instagram for questions specific about the move, so I'm going to answer those in this vlog and show you a couple things. I'm not going to show you unpacking because we've already done most of that. I'm going to film a separate video on doing the homeschool space, so that will be its own video, but we're just going to talk about stuff. I'm going to answer your guys' questions and see what we get into. You guys probably want to see some of the house, so I'll do some quick. This is the living room, and the kitchen is like right when you enter in. That is like a laundry utility room, and then to the left is where the garage is. Over here we have like this like cool little thing. There's one of my dogs. One of you did ask to see my dogs because I talked about them in the move. They did absolutely wonderful and are adjusting to their new home very well. They obviously don't even entertain me when I'm talking to them. This is Chance. He just turned 3. His birthday was just a couple weeks ago. We rescued him. Well, so his mom got rescued when she was pregnant, and so he technically wasn't a rescue. He was living at like one of the foster care with his mom, but that's how we got him. And then I don't know where the other, oh, there's Winnie. And this is Winnie. She will be 2 in October. No, she'll be 3 in October. And we named her Winnie from Hocus Pocus, Winifred. That's her. She is a rescue. So she was found, like when we used to live in Las Vegas, she was found in one of the deserts out there. She was just a few months old and she was being attacked by coyotes. Like, I don't know if she'll let me show you, but they took like a chunk out of her ear and stuff. So she's our little rescue girl as well. So those are our dogs. Oh, and they did really good on our trip. Okay, so that's this part of the thing. And then this is the rest of the main floor. So we have my son's bedroom here. This is going to be the guest room here. That's how you get out to our backyard. Wait till I show you guys that. And then this hallway, this is like a, I don't even know, like a furnace. It's not a closet. There's no hall closets, which is a little weird. This is the office. So still unpacking and setting this up, but my view from my office is our backyard, which you can see is all the beautiful trees. And then if we go down here, here is like the guest bathroom, but there is a shower and tub, but that's a mess because pretty much all of us are sharing this bathroom at this point. And our bedroom is very small, so we're kind of getting this together. And then we do have a bathroom, but it's super small. So we do have a bathroom in our room, but it's just not enough space. And I'm not a good person to share a bathroom with. I'm pretty messy with my stuff. So I'm letting my husband use that one and I'm sharing with the kids for right now. And then upstairs, so this is actually an addition to the house. So like if you look up the house like on Zillow, they don't actually count this part of the house because it's not, I don't think it was done like up to code, but they redid the entire like attic space. So this is like a little loft area. There's a ton of storage down there. Like we have all of our boxes and stuff in there. I don't even know how to turn. See, it goes like all the way back there. So we've just been storing our boxes. This is a bathroom. The issue though right now, we have a plumber coming. This tub doesn't work, and so we can't even use this bathroom right now, which is a little annoying. This is going to be our homeschool space, so this is all that still needs to be unpacked. This is one of my daughter's rooms, and it's absolutely huge. But again, there's no closet, so we had to get like a clothing rack. But she has a huge room. She's going to put her gymnastics mat right here. And then across, I should have showed you this first, but back on the other side is my other daughter's room. So her room is pretty big too, not as big. And that's her room. So we got her that little set and then a clothing rack as well. And then I'll show you guys the backyard. So this is the backyard. We have it like fenced a little bit closer to like the usable yard, but then we have probably another 1/4 acre to 1/2 acre behind that. That's just like straight forest that we didn't want the dogs or kids going into. So that is why that fence is there, but it is like you're literally just standing in a forest when you go back there. We have some garden beds back here that I want to clean up. We have a little patio that we're getting a table and chairs for. So definitely loving the backyard we have. Okay, sorry guys, here we are again. I'm like stacking things to use my camera. So that was a tour of our house. I think we got a really good deal on it. The issue is our leasing company that we're leasing it from, it's not owned by a person, it's owned by a leasing company. And so the issue with that is they took it over like while the previous tenants were still living in it. So they never knew the condition of the house. Like we had signed our lease sight unseen because we were in a different state and we needed a house, and they hadn't seen it either. And we signed it before the people ever even moved out. So what happened is the people moved out and they come through and, you know, they check everything, and there was so much damage to the house that was done. So they had to do all new flooring, all new paint, all new appliances. So, I mean, it's like the house was built in the 70s, so it's an old house, but we got a lot of new stuff that we were not expecting. So with all of that, those things were nice. However, when we showed up to move in that morning, none of our appliances were here. So we're moving into a house. We don't have a fridge, a stove, a microwave. None of that was here. The dryer was broken, even though it was all brand new. The dryer was broken. So the first 2 days, it was like, you know, we had the movers here, we were unpacking. I wasn't cooking, so it really wasn't that big of a deal. But then it started to get a big deal. And then we realized the house does not have AC. At first, we thought it was broken because there's a thermostat you can turn like cooling on, but it wasn't working. And we were here like during really hot days. So the day that the movers were here, I think it was like 85, and we had just the doors open, and it was so hot, especially in that upstairs attic area, because I don't think they did it to code. So there's really no ventilation up there. There's no insulation. So that was like kind of an issue, like trying to adapt to that. Then our electrical went out. So our entire living room and half of the kitchen, the electrical went out. The dryer was broken, so the dryer wouldn't spin and dry clothes, so we can't do laundry, we don't have electricity. The appliances took a few days to get installed. So throughout this last week, we have literally had people at our house every single day. And it is, at this point, I'm getting a little frustrated because it is annoying having people at your house every day and they're not really fixing stuff. So I would probably never recommend this rental company, but we'll see. So even today, I'm waiting right now for a plumber to come because we've had 2 people already come look at the bathtub upstairs. The water's not draining out, or it will eventually, it will drain out like hours later, but it won't drain while you're using it. So they think there's something wrong with the plumbing underneath. They've like snaked it, they've had cameras in there, and so they have to remove the entire tub and like cut into the floor and all this stuff. So that's still an issue we're dealing with. One of the walls of electric is still broken. It's a wall we're not really using, but we don't like, I don't even know how to explain it. We're not good renters, I'll say, in the sense of like we like to own our own home and take care of things and fix it. So it's really frustrating relying on these people. Like we don't get to choose what electrician they hire. So at this point, like the wall that's broken, like it can just stay broken, but we don't want to be like held accountable for that. So we're still like dealing with all of that. But besides all that, I mean, those were some really frustrating things. We really like the house. We have, like I said, 6 bedrooms, so we have enough space for everyone. We have an office space, we have a guest room space, which is really important to us, because we have a ton of family that already wants to come stay with us. So we need to get that room set up. We have family that lives here and lots of cousins for our kids. So we've already had sleepovers multiple times and we've only been here a week. So we just need like an extra like bed space for all of that. So overall, I think we lucked out with the house. I just wish that they would have told us like, hey, you should probably wait a few weeks to move in, because we could have done that. So anyways, so we're here, we're moved in, all of our stuff is here, we're getting things fixed. And let me answer some of your guys's questions that you asked me on Instagram. Even right now, as I'm filming this, I had to go grab my matcha because I dropped it or I left it somewhere. I look out front and there's like landscape people and that happened like a few days ago. I look out front and some lady's just like mowing our lawn and I'm like, well, like no communication, nothing. So I may have to pause and go see what they're doing because I have no idea why they're in our front yard. But until I get interrupted, go through some of these questions. Okay, so a lot of people said, what state are you living to? Washington State. We are on the western side. We are in like a small coastal city, about an hour and a half outside of Seattle. That's pretty much is what I'm going to give you. I don't really like people knowing exactly where we live, but a lot of you have reached out and said you live in Washington. So we've been here before. The family, that was another question, what family we have out here. So my husband's cousin was my coworker when we were younger. We worked at a spa together. And she was my best friend and she hooked me and my husband up and that's how we met. And so it's kind of funny because like she's my friend but my husband's family, so yeah, it just like kind of all worked out. So she lived in Vegas during that time, but her family, so it's my mother-in-law, who you all know I'm very close with, her brother, and it's his daughter. So they live out here in Washington. So we kind of have like another set of grandparents. And then my best friend, and then she has 5 kids. She just had twin boys that are 6 months old maybe no, they're like 7 months old now. And she has like older kids that are my kids' age. So we've always like wanted to raise our kids together. It just like never really, she wasn't going to be able to move out of Washington. And so it's not that we picked this place lightly, I'll say. It really did, when we chose to move to North Dakota, obviously one reason is my husband accepted a job there, but the job he accepted was a 2-year contract, and him taking that job would have opened up availability to move to other places. So the goal was put in your 2 years, and then we would have probably ended up moving to like Washington if he could have been transferred to a job there. So that was like the goal. What happened is he took a federal government job, and because he was a new employee, he got laid off 2 months into his job. And so there was no reason for us to stay in North Dakota. We had no family there, no community. We were not thriving there. I was not thriving there, and I didn't really know how bad it was until we got out of it. So anyways, it just was not for us. We didn't have a reason to stay there. And so we're like, where do we want to live? We didn't want to go back to Las Vegas. And so we knew where we wanted to live was Washington. So like, how do we make this happen? And we made it happen. And so here we are, loving life. And it really is like one of the most beautiful places that I've ever seen. So I'm very, very thankful that we were able to make it work and get out here. Okay, sorry, I did have to step away because there are landscapers here. So I'm going to try to get through some of these questions fast because they're about to start doing stuff in our backyard. One person asked if I'm worried about meeting the requirements to homeschool in Washington. I talked about this in my July homeschool update specifically. No, I'm not worried about it. What I read, we're fine. So I don't have any concerns there. Another person asked, did my husband get a new job? Yes, he did. And yes, we have a lot of family here, and we've already like just completely immersed ourselves. So we are very, very thankful of all the family and support we have here. Okay, I think that's the most of the questions. The biggest one was like, where were we moving? So like, yeah, all I can say is it's like literally like we're in a forest in a city. It's a smaller city. And then there's water all around us. So yeah, a lot of you reached out and was like, I can't believe, like mentally, how are you doing? Like 2 cross-country moves in less than a year. Definitely do not recommend. I don't see us moving to a different state at all. Like the move went well. The move went really well, to be honest. Like even though we're dealing with all this house issues, like the move itself, like packing and unpacking and all that stuff, the movers we hired were amazing. I feel like we did a lot of things right this way. So like we learned a lot from the first move. But it is so like just draining and taxing and just like getting used to everything. And like we will be moving again, just in state. So I don't want to like make you think like we're not about to pack up and move, because we were. I don't know how long we want to stay in this house. We just signed a year lease. I think a lot of that's going to depend on the economy and things like that for us to buy a house, but we do plan on buying a house here. So that is the goal. If interest rates were at like 7%, we probably would have just bought a house instead of renting. But I also am glad we're renting because there's different areas you have to get used to. Like there's little town, like there's towns all over us. And so we needed to really realize where we wanted to live in proximity to our family and things like that. So I think renting is smart, so we can kind of get used to everything and then really take the time to find the house we love and want instead of settling. We're no longer going to settle. We don't need to settle. All right, they are going to start mowing, so I'm going to take a break here. All right, it's the next day, so I figured I still can't find my tripod, so I'm still filming like with a whole stand set up, but give you an update. I just made my breakfast, trying to get back on track. This is some cottage cheese, some Canadian bacon, and tomatoes, so about 25 grams of protein. Easy, quick breakfast. Very savory breakfast. I went to Trader Joe's last night. By the way, Trader Joe's is 2.5 miles from our house, which makes me very happy. I haven't been to a Trader Joe's in like over 8 months because Trader Joe's does not exist in North Dakota, nor do normal grocery stores. So Definitely had to go to Trader Joe's last night, so we got way too much stuff, but so happy. They had like a sample there, so this was also like one of the best Trader Joe's I've ever been to. The Trader Joe's in Vegas are so small and they're not set up very well, and the parking is always super annoying and they're always super busy. This one, the parking lot was huge. And the store was much bigger than any other Trader Joe's I've ever seen, and it was laid out differently, so it just like worked better. It was laid out more like a normal grocery store. But anyway, so that was amazing, getting all the stuff. So we got like a huge cart full of stuff, snacks, all those things. But they had like a sample, kind of like how Costco does samples. So it was this horchata ice cream with these cinnamon bun JoJo's. We've had the cinnamon bun JoJo's before. They're really good. They're like their version of Oreos, but they're like cinnamon sugar with like vanilla cream inside. And they like mixed those with this horchata ice cream. Oh my God, so good. So we did pick that up, and that's what we had last night for dessert. But so happy we have a Trader Joe's. We actually have every grocery store possible. Sprouts is also one of my favorite grocery stores. And there's a Sprouts here, and there's like Costco and all the things. So we're gonna go to Costco today. It's almost overwhelming now, because before I didn't really shop at the grocery store we had in North Dakota because I feel like it was super expensive. I didn't really like anything. So I really did all of our grocery shopping at Walmart, which normally I would never do. I don't like Walmart. So it was easy because I just got the same stuff every week. We had bought our meat from a farmer out there, so I wasn't really buying meat. So it is a little overwhelming now. Like I have too many options of where to shop, so I feel like I keep just buying all this stuff, and I'm like, you know, eventually it needs to like make sense. Plus, you know, we couldn't bring any fridge or freezer stuff with us. So like we're restocking those things. We brought some pantry stuff, but not a ton. So it's just like kind of rebuilding all of that. But very good. I'm definitely getting not really used to driving here. It's hard because like there's so many trees that you can't really see like what street is over, because there's just a forest blocking it. So I feel like it's going to take a little bit longer to learn how to drive here. Not learn how to drive, but like learn where things are. And it's so hilly. Like you are constantly going up and down. So learning to drive like that is definitely different. Everyone like slows down like on certain parts because you're going downhill. So that's something I wasn't anticipating, but it's fine. We'll get used to it. My son has been going to camp. So he's been going to like a summer camp at this gymnastics place. So he's been going to ninja camp this week. Next week it's like Disney camp. And then my middle daughter, so in North Dakota, she made like the pre-team for gymnastics, and she's like absolutely just like immersed herself in gymnastics. So we had to do tryouts last night for the gymnastics team here. So she got on the team here. So she's gonna start going back to like her normal gymnastics stuff. My son is doing the 2 weeks of camp. He maybe do a couple more weeks. He's absolutely loving it. It's like half day, so he's going from like 12 to 4, and he's like exhausted when he gets home. So, and then my older daughter hasn't really found anything yet about, like she's normally in volleyball and nothing is really happening over summer for volleyball. So she's just been hanging out with her cousins. So that's kind of what the kids have been doing. I'm just trying to get like into some sense of normalcy. We still have a plumber coming, an electrician coming, so we still have all that going on. But yeah, I thought I wanted to wrap up this vlog. This is like the last moving vlog. Obviously, you guys know we moved. I'll be talking about moving stuff somewhat in the upcoming vlogs, but I'll probably go back to just a vlog here and there. So if there's certain things you want to see in the vlogs, let me know. And if you have any other questions, leave those down below and I will make sure to answer them in another video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.